Oh, I think I just got that up my nose. Hi everybody, it's PJ, and I'm going to try to get this video up in like real time because tonight our leader is going to lie to the American public like you've never seen before. So, the reason why I say this is because like they've been getting caught lying all week about this wall thing. Sarah Huckabee went on TV and literally lied like about how many terrorists were caught at the southern border. There's actually 6 that has been caught in 2018. And then I think the numbers are only out for half of 2018 though. And then, but at the northern border with Canada, there was 41. So why this big push for a southern border? If there wasn't a threat, why would any president want to push so hard to get us to believe there is one? And it's pretty simple because it's all about being white. So on the southern border, most of the people that come through are Latino, Hispanic. And on the northern border, there's a much bigger mix that includes a lot of white people. So why is the northern border, even though there's more terrorists that come through there, not being chosen to have a wall? Not that I want a wall at all, that we're just going to take down the minute anybody with any sense goes in. I mean, just to maintain this is too much money. But is simply because this is about white supremacy and how, and it's not just like Republicans. It's about white supremacy in a nation that saw itself as white and Christian and for a very long time. And now it's having to deal with the fact that just Christianity alone is down. Like that is also down. I don't have the percentages for you, but if you want them, I'll get them. But even that, like church and all that has dropped dramatically. And then on top of that, you know, other religions like Muslims or Jews or whatever, have built their, you know, when everybody came to America, you know, it's only been a couple hundred years, and when everybody came to America to start this nation, they were all white, and they were all on some, they're either Catholic, there was some Protestant, Methodist, that kind of thing, just starting to creep in, you know, but basically they were white Christians. And then the idea was that you opened the border for religious freedom and all that, but they were looking at that like religious freedom from countries that wouldn't allow them to be things like Protestant. They really didn't fathom that it could become a real nation of lots of religions that whose numbers would grow. Us being a specific, we're not, well, I'm not a specific religion, but us being like a religion that's always been outside of the mainstream, or a spirituality that's always been outside of the mainstream, we get it because we've been doing this a long time. You know, we've been the bad guys for a really long time in their view. But that's what this is about. Like, there's no threat. The bigger threat is the airports, and shutting down the government actually takes away from security at the airports. So, if anything, with the shutting down of the government, it's actually made it less secure in the way of terrorism for those 6 terrorists that weren't even, like, some of them weren't even terrorists, I guess. They were just on some, like, basic list of bad people. But okay, we'll give them the 6, you know. You caught 6 people, bad actors. at the border that were trying to come in, at the southern border. You caught 41 at the northern border. But see, most of the people that come in through the northern border are more predominantly white. There's a lot of Middle Eastern people that come in through that way too, but they're more white. They're more along the lines of the acceptable people to this group of men. So when you hear these numbers of 4,000, know the 4,000 was at airports. It wasn't the southern border. There was 6 people that he is trying to spend $5 billion on. Here's the problem. This is now Trump's ego. It doesn't have shit to do with security. And I think everybody really kind of gets that. On top of it being his ego, it is also that he needs a win because his numbers are plummeting. Because he didn't get anything done that he said he was going to get done. And the economy is very up and down that really only works for very wealthy. It didn't help me. I don't have stocks. And a lot of people that even do have stocks are like I think that this country is coming to a place where it is unwilling to hurt the workers under them, even the wealthy, in order to maintain the status of the rich get richer. And I'm like seeing this shift in like consciousness, which I love, that is like kind of more for like, okay, like there's more of a respect for the workers that don't make the kind of money that the wealthy, now from the wealthy there isn't, but from like the upper middle class, they're willing. They're like they're willing to let go of some of theirs, but not if it just goes back to the higher ups. They want it to go to the people. And so there is a shift because that's what Trump said he would do. And then he did the opposite. He enriched his family. He enriched his children. He enriched all his rich buddies. But actual workers are still making, $10 an hour. They're not anywhere closer to a pension. Vets are homeless by the scads. Like things have gotten worse in the way of the people, but not in the way of the rich people. Do you know what I mean? So I think that the people, there's a shift even in the wealthy, or not the super wealthy, but like even in a lot of the people that normally would go along with that. There's even been a shift there because it is now so heavily in favor of the wealthiest people in America that it makes it almost embarrassing to be one of those people. And I believe people are starting to see that. I mean, that's what I feel. I hear it. So, tonight, when you listen to this nut get up there and lie to you, know he's lying, and that those lies are to perpetuate something that A, he won't be able to, and B, that it's very damaging and dangerous. Had we been in the same position when our forefathers came over, a lot of us wouldn't be here. No. I don't know one Dem that wants open borders, not one. I know there needs to be immigration control and a reform and things like Dreamers, and it's ridiculous. There has to be security. But the only reason why you want a wall is to watch it get tear down. That's what'll happen. He's a nightmare. Gutman asked on Twitter today. Gutman asked on Twitter today, do you think that Trump is the Antichrist? And my answer is this. If if you believe in a Christ, then it would only make sense that Trump is the Antichrist. He is the antithesis of what Christ was not. And I got I think a lot of Bible Belt people thought he was going to end abortion. He's not. And they're not going to touch abortion. I even believe that there should be some abortion reform. I don't believe in late-term abortions. I think there is a place. Now, there is no abortion where you're 30 weeks pregnant and they go, oh, we can give you an abortion now, by the way. That's a lie, too. That's what the Republicans, that the extreme right-to-lifers try to tell you. I think, though, that it's like 26 weeks in some states. That is a viable pregnancy. I know children that were younger than that lived. I believe that where that as technology helps these children live, I believe that number has to be altered. But you can't do it because you've got right-to-lifers wanting to get rid of it all the way. And nobody has a cool enough head to say, okay, we need to have abortion. You do. The problem with not having abortion is that it's a direct relation to poverty levels and crime rates and things you don't want in your life. Seriously, all over the place, especially in the cities. So you want abortion. You want young women to not have to live with their mistakes and a reasonable gestation on the pregnancy. What that is can't be that if the child was born, it could live outside the womb. Like, that can't be. And it really isn't. If a child was born at 24 weeks or 26, whatever that number is, then it would need huge intervention to be able to breathe on its own and whatnot. But my point is that that number has to change with how medically we can sustain these children. So I don't think that having an abortion is anybody's business but yours and your doctor. But I do believe that some of these girls have these late-term abortions that are kind of unconscionable. They could have gone earlier. They just didn't. That part I would love to see reform on. But you can't even approach it. Because the minute you approach reform, you have the screaming people just like jumping on you. No, you can't take a woman's right away. I agree with that. But at the same time, I think at some point, a child in the womb has to have their rights too. So I think it's a medical decision, not a political one. I don't even think it should be in the hands of the politicians, actually. I think it should be up to individual doctors and the situation. I don't want to judge that, and I don't think anybody else should either, So anyway, but you're not allowed that. Now there's a specific number for each state, and so there's no common sense involved. Do you understand what I mean? It's really sad that we can't, as a nation, just get together and talk about this stuff. Because if we could talk about, like, a lot of this stuff, there wouldn't be this divide. Like, even the wall, like, some people really believe that we need more security. Okay, I'm all for that. Like, then let's get security going. Let's not build a wall for somebody to say, look what I did. That's not... Every expert has said the wall won't change anything, won't stop anybody from coming in. It's a waste of money. And then these Republicans will turn around and say, oh, because their deficit is off the chain, man. These men Trump has run up our deficit into the trillions of dollars, which, it's getting worse by the day. And they're going to turn, the first thing McConnell said, the first thing that, Paul Ryan said was, now we have to talk about entitlements. That's what they call your retirement. is that you pay for. It's an entitlement. You're entitled to that money or not. That's like the wrong word. That's something I paid for. And now I can't retire until I am 68 and 8 months. But my sister, who's 2 years older than me, she can retire at 65. My ex-husband, 5 years, 65. So I already lost almost 3 years of being able to be retired and enjoy my later in life stuff because they've pissed the money away on the wall or whatnot, and so they think they're more, they call it an entitlement. They call your health care an entitlement. That is a basic right that you're paying for. And like, shouldn't it be that we decide what our money is paying for? But no, they want to give themselves a $10,000 raise as soon as the shutdown's over. That makes me sick to my stomach. Like, I want a $10,000 raise. Give me back my fucking taxes. So anyway, this is just, when you hear it tonight, know that they will lie. And this is just more money to take away more stuff from us. Because the haves want to keep it. They don't want you to have any of it. And the have-nots want to get that. They just want what's rightfully theirs. So that is the, that's the continuous problem in a capitalist America. And I believe in capitalism, that you should, if you come up with a better, you know, computer software or trash can or whatever the fuck you come up with about, that you should definitely get a bigger slice of the pie. My thing is that shouldn't give you the right to make less to pay less taxes than me. Like, it should be a sliding scale going up more to the rich, not less. And that's not what happens. They get all the tax breaks and we get to pay for their vacations. And that blows. But anyway, I love you guys. Bye.